So, I love the I love in the one that's you've got the computer in front of you, like professional, and in front of me, I've like got no computer. I just got a lemon.
That's hilarious, actually. I love it. Uh,
We don't trust lemons with a computer.
that limit is your computer.
Yeah, that's right. That lemon is all I need.
That's right.
Sounds all working, so we're all good there.
Okay. Doo-doo-doo. Take a drink of water real quick. Mhm.
Welcome, welcome, everyone.
Hello and welcome. Alrighty, I guess we can get started. Before I throw up the screens, which we're not going to need too much of today. I'll start by
Still
saying,
nice to know. Have a look.
yeah, first I'll do the disclaimers. None of this stuff is financial advice. No markup is a signal of any kind. Always do your own due diligence. Trading is a high risk activity. You can and will incur losses. So use proper risk management and only risk capital on systems that you've tested yourself. Um, that being said, thank you guys for coming. Today we're going to be mostly doing mindset stuff and talking about discipline and gratification, delayed gratification, instant gratification, and things like that. And I'll have the charts up and kind of just casually be watching in the background. I have it set with some zones, and we can just watch price action as we're kind of chatting, doing stuff. I'm going to go and throw the charts up. And I got my partner here, Lemons, with me today. Hello.
G'day, everyone. Yeah, I mean, also obviously, if you guys want to look at any charts, just shout them in the chat, and we'll have a look at them as well. Um, but yeah, like Jezza said, we're sort of mainly going to be focused on a bit of mindset. I think the last couple of weeks we've had a couple of subjects uh, in mind, but never really got around to them in really great detail. So we're just gonna come back to them and put a little bit more spotlight on them. The first one that I wanted to talk about was delayed gratification, which I think is probably, I would say, I don't know how you feel about this, Jezza, but I feel a lot of people have an issue with this. Um,
Handling like
just
the
this whole, yeah, just being able to handle delayed gratification. Um,
wholeheartedly agree. One of the biggest issues, I
yeah,
believe.
it's that kind of just you just got to wait, just wait and just let the market be. But you get in front of you get a trade setup forming, and it's not quite ready, and plan says wait, but your fingers like, oh, just click it, Tom, just give it a little, give it a little clickaroo, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I first of all, whenever I kind of think about how I want to talk about this, I always try and kind of put it back to what I used to do, which is personal training. Um, and when I started my personal training business years and years and years ago, I always thought that it was just going to be about personal training. and it's going to be great, and I'm just going to get clients just because I'm just so amazing at personal training, and I don't need to worry about anything else. Just do the personal training, get all that sorted, and everything else will just handle itself. But what you kind of figure out after 6 months, a year into the job is just that personal training is really a very not a small part, but suddenly there are all these other jobs that you have to pick up. Suddenly you're an accountant, suddenly you're a salesperson, you're a manager, you're a cleaner, you're a psychologist, you're having, to listen to why, Kevin is eating a kebab at 2 a.m. You're a babysitter, and all these things are like things that when I first thought about personal training, I was like, oh, didn't really think about that. And it's exactly the same thing when it becomes, um, personal, not personal training, obviously, with trading. So with trading, obviously, first and foremost, you have to know some amount of, either technical analysis or economic data, that sort of thing.
Mm.
But I think the risk you got to be a risk manager.
Mm.
That's for most people kind of where they kind of pull up short a little bit. And I think most people just think, oh, just as soon as you get the trading down, everything else is gonna be completely fine.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, like when even if you've got like a great setup, like a bad risk manager will completely undo all of that. And it's not because, like, first and foremost, like I know when I first started not getting things right and things weren't quite going to plan, like my immediate thought was, oh, why are you being so stupid? Why are you doing this? Like, and it's not because you're stupid. It's just because you're biologically, your brain is like literally wired to sabotage us from doing sort of things. You got these diegetic neurons in the brain um, that want that reward, that constant sort of ramping. And it's like, you got to get that dopamine, got to get that dopamine. As soon as that dopamine stops, you stop feeling that dopamine. You're like, oh, maybe this trade isn't quite working so well. And I don't know how did you feel when you first started trading? Like, do you kind of did you kind of have that? Did you have that same feeling, Jezza?
Yeah, it's constantly a roller coaster. I think I was led more by the emotions than the trading itself. Even as I started to learn some price action, still I'd let the emotional tail wag the dog, and I would be trying to capitalize on the feeling first and foremost. So I'd make really poor trading choices, like exiting a trade early before too much of a loss, like hitting a stop loss even, or um, liquidating early before getting a win to, hold on to my capital and things like that because the dopamine high of the success of the winning trades. And I was also trying to show people around me at the time too, so that like compounded on top of that. But anyway, yeah. So I'd say it was a roller coaster ride emotionally, and I let that roller coaster lead my trading decisions at first.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people as well, like we kind of suffer from this hyperbolic discounting is what it's called, the technical term. But basically, what it means is that the longer like we wait for the reward, like say someone says you're going to make £1,000 profit in a week's time,
Mm-hmm.
like that kind of that value doesn't feel like, oh, that's I suppose that's all right. and then also like at the same time, like someone goes, "Oh, you're in a trade. You got £10 right now, though. That's £10 that you can take right here and now. That's £10 that you can just bank."
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, maybe I should just bank it." Like, no one ever lost trading by just taking profits, isn't that right?
Yeah. That that's how it feels for sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, that essentially is just how you kind of your brain kind of analyzes this stuff, and then obviously when we lose, we're like neurobiologically, like the loss is like twice as painful as a win. Like it
Mm.
really hurts. Like it feels like the market is like personally like insulted us, and so what do? We kind of have a little bit of a temper tantrum. We kind of double down sometimes. Gambler's fallacy maybe kind of gets in there, and we kind of go, surely, we can't we can't lose again.
Mm.
Surely, maybe we'll just better maybe we'll add a little bit of uh, little extra lock size, that sort of thing. Um, and then that kind of really hits home. Um, but yeah, I wanted to talk about sort of mainly sort of building sort of patience muscle, and how do we fix that? You know, and the the very simple way of like of all the things that you can do is just take a break of you've got this HRV feedback, and just taking some breaths when you get those feelings. We've spoken about it plenty of times. Breathe in. You want to try and get six breaths per minute, and that stimulates the vagus nerve, which kind of tells your brain, just chill out, calm down. Nothing's wrong here. You're not gonna get struck down by a meteor. There's no panther sort of lurking around the corner. We're all good. Just taking that little pause, just taking that breath. Um, that's going to be the something that when I when I first impacted that was like the easiest thing I could impact on my trading, and it was so easy to do, and it had such like great effects, and it's so good that I even like we spoke about it a week ago. We got Bear to do some meditation for us, and he's
Hmm.
actually just recently finished a a meditation um, for trading to play for yourselves at the beginning of your session.
That's sick.
So hopefully we can get that added to the Discord or somewhere at some point, and that's pretty cool.
Oh,
Having
cool.
having Bear take you through just before you start trading, and then you be
He
like
was,
I've already tried it. It makes me feel so zen. It's so
yeah,
cool.
he was gifted
Like
with the
you get
best
you get
voice.
you get you to turn around, face away from the computer. He's just like, oh, he takes you through these visualizations, and he's got this breathing exercise. I'm like, yep, this is what I need, and it's yeah, love it. Um, the next thing I would recommend, if this is like from what I've described, if you're one of these people, another thing you can do is just take the number of trades and cut it. So have a like a like a, like in personal training, it would be a calorie deficit. You got, but for your brokerage account,
Hmm.
um, by just having a hard stop on a certain amount of trades, it kind of forces you to kind of really consider each trade and kind of go, okay, well, if this is let's say, I used to only be able to take two trades in a session, but now I'm only allowed to take one. Is this the one trade that I want to bet everything on? Um, one of the things that that we did pretty early with TTF is the what's it called? The strategy wars,
Mm-hmm.
and that was kind of based off like a Mark a Mark Douglas exercise, which is kind of like just completely taking 20 trades or more, where you're not allowed to change anything. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have
Mm-hmm.
a set certain thing, and you have to do X, Y, Z every single
Every
time, no
time.
matter what. It doesn't matter the output. Blah 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 blah. And that was what was the strategy wars was all based on,
Mm-hmm.
and that is it's not as quick and easy as your breathing and whatnot, but you if you can implement that, that is um, something that's so beneficial to your trading. And like even if like we've got the earn as you learn at the moment, um, and just being able to follow that, if you're able to follow that and just take those trades without committing any kind of emotion to it, then that's just yeah. That'd be something that I would definitely recommend taking advantage of. You know, just not following, just keeping like a process score, maybe. Is there anything that you would recommend, Jezza?
Yeah, what the process score is actually a really good idea. And a piece of advice before I even say that, I was just gonna say, I just waiting for a good segment. Do not underestimate the power of breathing, guys. Like seriously, even in a trade, like even actively inside of a trade where you're feeling whatever your feelings are, close your eyes and breathe in through your nose really deep and hold it for a few seconds, and then breathe out and hold it for a few seconds. If you can do that a few
Yeah,
times, you will get your brain, you're shutting your amygdala off, your fight or flight response,
yeah,
and turning
yeah,
your
yeah,
functional cortexes back on, and that
yeah,
helps you be a higher thinking being, a human being, the way our brains can function at their best. So don't underestimate the power of breathing. So that is one super key easy piece of advice, that small change can change every decision that you make
yeah.
for the rest of your life. Then the other
That's
one.
why I kind of sorry.
No,
That's
go ahead,
why
go ahead.
I literally said it. For the first thing, it's the easiest thing. It's so easy to do,
Mm-hmm.
like breathing. So common, so easy for us to just ever so slightly change. It doesn't
Yep.
have to be anything. That's going to take months or weeks or whatever. Breathing is just something we can all do.
Yep. And you guys will be surprised the
Yeah.
results of properly breathing all the time, but especially during times of stress and emotion and stuff. Um,
Big time.
and then the process score is a really good idea. I actually, on my old journaling software, I had where it was like, did you follow plan? And you say yes or no or whatever. Or it got detailed enough where you can do multiple. Did you follow each piece of your plan? And it'd be -1 or +1 for the day or neutral. And if you started getting to the negative, that was not good. That means you're not, regardless of your results of the trades, you are veering off of your plan, and that steers you back in. So process score is actually a really good idea, and I did that um, during my journaling and like
Yeah.
fortifying my edge and stuff
Same.
like that. So nice, perfect.
I thought the process score. I like also like I didn't look. You know how, like for instance, at the moment I'm doing like fasting and things like that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't bother checking like weights and things like that. The end goal, like I check the process, like how I'm feeling, how I'm doing, and blah blah blah. Same thing with trading. When I first started doing that, I also didn't check the P&L. I actually changed my P&L to percentage. When you're in a trade, it tells you
Yeah.
what
Yep.
percentage you're at
Yeah.
as well. I thought that was super helpful as well because then I didn't see the numbers, you
I
know, 1,000, 2,000,
I wanted
1,500.
I wanted so bad to do that, but I used MT4, the mobile app, and they did not have that feature, and I had to just live with the
Oh,
cash value. It sucked because I
yeah, yeah,
also
yeah.
wanted that so bad. I
Well, when I
saw.
when I first started trading, I just traded straight off Trading View.
Oh, fair, yeah, nice.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
Actually, me too. Because no, no, no. Was it connected back then, Oenda? I think it was still. I think I.
Mm.
I
Yeah, I
think
think
I
so.
also did.
Yeah,
Start
yeah. I
trading
was on
trading.
Pepperstone.
Fair, nice. I've had some good
Mm.
experience with Pepperstone, but they don't
Yeah,
allow US.
yeah. Fair enough.
Yep, yep.
Sucks to be you.
I know. Well, yeah. Oh my gosh, a lot of brokerages now don't offer American
Oh yeah,
customers, man. It's annoying.
yeah. It
Anyway,
sucks. Yeah.
yeah, yep.
So that I
Strategies.
think that was my main thing on sort of. Uh, the only no, actually, sorry, I'll get into that in a second. So that was my main thing on sort of delayed gratification. Um, I think that's everything I wanted to cover.
I will.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
No, yeah, no, you go for it.
I was gonna backpack off that and say that before you moved on to a new subject, that delayed gratification generally has better results for everything you ever do, not just trading. Like, imagine like emotional relationships and bonds. You form a better
Hmm.
bond with someone when you build trust and communicate with them and open up and let that relationship grow. You feel better being around them. It's true of plants, right? When you put in the effort and the care and don't just you can even compare it to stuff that's already been processed for you, like convenience stores and things like that. They lose some of their flavor and nutritional value having to store them and make them easily accessible and stuff.
Hmm.
So if you do it yourself and go through that gratification, you get a better tasting fruit. And it's true of like literally everything. I'm not saying that you have to have delayed gratification in every aspect of your life, but in
Yeah,
general, if you can delay the gratification, think about it like a plant that grows exponentially more results. You'll have many more fruits
yeah,
than just a few seeds to eat, basically,
big time.
metaphorically. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my parents tested me quite early on when I was a child with delayed gratification. They told me that there are a bunch of soccer trading cards. They were in the kitchen on the second shelf, and there was one, but if we wait till the end of the week, we'll get two. We'll get two of the packs, and I completely failed that.
Oh, yeah.
I took it. I got the one, and I got punished for it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I and then I kind of look back on it and I go, oh, they were trying to teach me a lesson back then.
Yeah.
If
Yeah. Yeah.
only I had. Because apparently, if you learn it from a young age, man, it's so beneficial for you later on in life. Like in a lot of things,
Yeah.
it's
I try.
crazy.
Yep. I try a little bit, not just the delayed, but also effort, valued effort. I usually reward my kids a lot more when, regardless of the results, if they put a lot more care and effort and finesse into what they're doing. I try really
Mm,
hard to reward that.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, wasn't the other thing that I had written down? It wasn't necessarily from last week's session, but it's something that I not sure we covered a couple of weeks ago that I had just sitting on a dock, and I went, oh, that's really I don't know if we kind of covered it. Your setup when you're trading. Have we covered that? Like what your setup looks like? Like is it like a boring setup or um, you know,
I think
because quite a lot of did we? Do you
I
know?
th I don't remember for sure. I can go through it real quick. It's super simple. It's just sweep of liquidity, flip of structure with a closure.
No, no, sorry.
Oh,
Your desk setup.
oh, my desk setup. No, I don't know if
Yes.
I don't know if we went over that. It's very,
Because
yeah, it's very simple and
one of
boring.
the
Also,
one of the things when I was talking to us about sort of when you're becoming a professional trader is treating your environment as you know
okay, yes,
you're
yeah, yeah,
you're an actual professional trader.
yeah. I do.
And I was looking at my desk setup today, which is so very boring and very basic, but it gets me results.
Yeah.
I used to have my desk set up in the lounge, big TV, and
Yeah,
right next
yeah,
to my desk
yeah,
was I used to have a PlayStation 2, which I don't have anymore, but and I got a Switch there, and also the Netflix and all that sort of stuff is there as well, and
yeah,
it was kind of all in that one space. So I
yeah.
wasn't really sort of
I've I've
treating my
I've said
yeah.
I should be trading, but I'll play one more round of Vampire Survivors. Plenty of time in my life too. I get it. I get it.
So now now I have a setup which is literally in a cupboard. And there can be better places. Like I can put put my desk setup in other places in the house, but I've chosen the cupboard because it's so boring. There's nothing for me
Nothing.
to look at. And actually, my wife works in here as well, so she's like behind me as well, um, which leads on to uh, kind of similar to what I was going to talk about this week, which is, oh no, what I was going to be talking about last week, which was having an accountability buddy. Like the fact that she doesn't know what I'm doing, and she's not really watching me at any time. But the fact that I kind of feel like she's there and might be watching me makes me so much better at my trading
Yeah, yeah.
and like any kind of work that I'm doing than if I was in another room as well. So yeah, is it's so interesting when you kind of compare your sort of professional setup here. Like if for instance you were trading for like a big company and whatnot, they have all this stuff in all these systems in place that if they feel that you've started emotionally trading, like you are cut off, But in your own home, you don't have that,
Yep.
I've got a cat that might jump on my lap maybe and tell me off, but other than that, again, it's like other kind of risk management, a hat that you've got to put on to make sure that you are um, the professional that you should be, rather than the guy sitting in the other room that kind of is half watching the charts but half playing Super Mario or whatever the game is that you want to play.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, that's definitely what's your desk set up like, Jezza?
I have a small desk space in a separate room, and it's literally just a desk, a green screen behind me. The I have a dock, like a mobile dock that I use for because I'm using a tablet and I like power it up with the dock. And my camera setup, it's bare bones. There's nothing else in here that I can mess with because of that exact reason. It used to be in my living room next to my TV, and instead of trading, I'd turn on a game or something like that, and I'd get
Yeah.
distracted. Blame my results on my playing, which was a little bit of both, a little bit of lack of focus, a little bit of me messing around, and it helps. And then as for the accountability buddy, unfortunately, there's nobody in my life that can really hold me accountable to this because everybody that is close enough to me just kind of trusts me to do what I need to do at all times when it comes to all this, any
Yeah.
kind of business stuff. And it's hard to like sync up with people really to have like a consistent accountability buddy. But being public and talking with you and these guys here about trading and the systems and the way I look at the market holds me accountable to consistently
Yeah.
do the same thing over and over and over and not switch it up or look at shiny new thing or anything like that. So,
Yeah,
um,
I feel that the same thing when I first started um, doing these lives, like being accountable to whoever is watching um, me trade. Like I probably used to do a few more live tradings sort of last year, and just being accountable to those trades and talking through, not just thinking through my idea in my head, actually speaking it, and
mhm,
using both subconscious and conscious mind um, to actually think out my idea is just like so much, so much better.
yeah,
But yeah, with the accountability buddy, um, the they're basically um, there was a study that I read from Gretchen Rubin. Gretchen Rubin. Um, she puts um, people into four tendencies, but she says that most of us are these types of people called obligers, and an obliger is someone who will ignore a promise to themselves, like in a heartbeat, but you know, uh, they will very rarely they will do their best not to disappoint someone else. You know what I mean? So, for instance, if I tell myself, "Oh, I'll pop to the gym tomorrow morning," um, I'll wake up at 8 o'clock and kind of go, I'm not feeling it today. Maybe I'll just go and have some Cocoa Pops or something like that. But if I text my mate Jezza, and go, hey, bro, if you were living in Australia,
Yeah, yeah.
hey, bro, I'll meet you down the gym tomorrow morning, 7:30. Sound good? Then I'm definitely going to be there 7:30,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to be particularly happy about it, but I'll be there. Sweating away on the treadmill, or doing your deadlifts or whatever, because like I have made that commitment, and like I do not want to disappoint Jezza for not turning up. And it's the same thing with trading. I think
Mhm.
with when you have an idea, let's say you have an idea and test it out and blah 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 blah. Like you have a 10% chance of doing it if it's just a basic idea. I spoke about this quickly last week, but if you tell someone your idea, that percentage of you following through with that idea is 65%.
Mhm.
And then even more, if you set a specific time each week with this accountability buddy,
Mm.
your chance of doing said thing is 95%,
Damn.
which is pretty much it's nuts.
Yeah.
And when I read that, I was like, and I've got the data, like I'll link it to the mindset room. When I read that, I was like, that can't be right. 95%. Like basically that's like you can't fail, like
Yeah.
essentially. Um but yeah, it's something called the Hawthorne effect. Um that basically you act better because someone is looking at you. Um and I actually tried to like compare it to like how like when you're driving around and whatnot and suddenly you see a policeman and suddenly you're like the world's best driver. You ever done that?
Yeah.
Suddenly it's like,
Oh
oh
yeah.
yeah, my hand's 10 at 2,
Yeah, yeah.
I've never done anything wrong in my life. I'm driving the speed limit. I'm actually driving 5k below the speed limit.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Good
Um,
analogy.
it's the same thing. I think I
Yeah.
like it's the same thing. Like same thing with trading, and
Yeah.
like it was the same. Like having my wife pretty much sitting behind me. She doesn't. She's not really watching me. I mean, she
Yeah.
might be. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the fact that there's a feeling of her being there and kind of, what's he doing? Is he about to? Is that's not his setup? His he's only at 50% fib retracement. He needs to be waiting for a little bit lower. Makes me kind of go, oh yeah, that's right. I need to wait for a little bit longer. So
That's
yeah,
yeah.
that's why I have my setup how I am. do you do you it's funny, like it is interesting as well when it comes to accountability buddies. Like they actually say that having someone who is a family or a member, a friend, is not actually good for an accountability buddy because they'll give you too much slack.
That makes
They'll be
sense.
like, "Oh, Jezza, that you've had a tough day.
Yeah.
It's okay that you went slightly off your plan, or. Whereas if you have someone that's kind of like a little bit more impartial, that's much better for you.
Yeah, actually, I talked to my kids about this. Funny enough, not that like the subject in trading, but accountability is being able to look at yourself in the mirror unapologetically. So when you're being held accountable, in this case, when I'm talking to my children about it, it's holding themselves accountable. But when you're being held accountable, it means you have to face exactly what it is the way it is. So there can't be excuses or expressions. If you want to change your behavior, you have to be held to account when you're failing that. And so, yeah, having that slack is actually counterintuitive in my opinion. I mean, obviously, for the purposes of that, the studies and stuff with your family and friends. But that's really
Yeah.
important, I think, to think about when you're holding yourself accountable. You have to be raw and unapologetic and truthful to yourself about it, and vice versa,
Mm,
your partner. So yeah, it makes sense to have somebody that wouldn't give you any slack.
mm. Yeah, I guess it depends on what you're trying to be accountable for, isn't it?
That's fair. Yeah,
Um,
I agree. I agree.
yeah.
That's fair.
Um, Anywho, I think that's kind of everything that I wanted to chat about, and we managed to do two sessions worth in 40 minutes. I think that's a home run right there.
Yeah, we're killing it today.
So now we can get to actually trading.
All right. I'll just since I had this up while we were chatting, I was looking at. I'm sure people saw I had this mark where there was this liquidity take. It didn't quite close above there, so I saw this as liquidity. And from an aggressive perspective, this is the point before liquidity it closed, so I'd put a circle there, and then I drew a little question mark and was like, is it going to come now? Sweep this liquidity here. It didn't. It came a little low, picked up the demand. It's still bullish, so there's no reason necessarily to for that to have to happen. Um, and now we're up into these other zones that I marked. And the reason why I have them marked is they're pieces of liquidity on the 15 minute. This one is this last little zone right here on the 15 minute. And then I have the little dotted line from the last little structure on the 1 minute leading up to that zone. And I'm just looking at what price is going to do in that zone. And yeah, we can talk about anything else. I'm just covering what was happening in the background while we're chatting.
Yeah, GU I kind of really like. I've missed the boat on it, but
Yeah.
um, it's funny. I chucked a whole bunch of GU data into AI. It was on 10-minute ticker data, and the I think it was not this time of year, but I think it was when the clocks are changed in Australia. So it would be between uh, April and October. But I was having a look at it in that kind of like when the high and the low of the session, like pre-session as well, like including the hour before London. And by the time actually London opens, I think there's like for most days, I think Tuesday and Friday were particularly good. But pre-London, you've already got like a 60% chance that the either the low or the high has already formed for that
Mm-hmm.
particular session. Kind of similar to that kind of DR IDR kind of um, thought process, but just adding in the hour before that is Frankfurt. And I thought that was pretty cool. Like I just tested it on GU and EU, and GU was much better
Mm-hmm.
than EU.
I've
I didn't test test AU, but yeah.
I can't speak for all strategies, but the two or three different strategies I've kind of really compared G and EU to, I've seen way smoother examples of everything on GU in general. So now it's my kind of go-to for first look on a strategy over EU.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I was actually looking at sell opportunities on UJ, um, which I think is. I was kind of hoping for a bit more of a retracement and a sweep on that, but yeah, GU is looking real good. but maybe moment has passed.
Oh, I could totally see
It's already
where
kind
the
of
sell could have been. Um, yeah, for GU, I was because I had completely missed the nice potential for a buy around this area. And we were up here. I was more looking for a sell potential. I didn't. I would. Well, I would be okay with a buy to have joined this move, but not on just a pickup of demand. I would have needed this to get swept, and then
yeah.
I would have been interested in catching the second hit. But that never happened. It just didn't give me a sell opportunity. Didn't really give me a buy opportunity. But now I have some liquidity mark to see if there's. It's a little late, but just to see. I'm not gonna enter on the 1 minute, but I'll mark it up if it comes down and takes some of that liquidity. Because
Catchy
now,
Tune asks,
go ahead.
sorry, is the idea that the zones where the pair took liquidity will serve as support or resistance?
Hold on. Is that a question?
It was. Sorry. Let me rephrase it. It's funny because I totally said that as a
Interesting.
statement, and Australians
Interesting.
are generally known for asking questions in their statements. But let me try
Uh,
and use the inflection a bit better. Is the idea that the zones where the pair took liquidity will serve as support and resistance?
yes, but depending on where the liquidity was taken. But yes. Okay. So my whole system in place
Oh, good day, Pat, as well, by the way.
is something like this. Do you see this liquidity resting here and here? So the whole idea, and I'm going to show you, this is a failed trade right here, but it doesn't matter. The system is this. So here's liquidity, right? So liquidity has been taken at this point, right? It flips above the point that took liquidity. So the idea behind this is that this zone that caused that is now support, yes, because it already took liquidity. So why would I need to take liquidity again if I already did its job? It liquidated somebody, and I'm going to go where the trend's going to go. I liquidated everybody at this point, right? Like not everybody, but everybody in this time frame.
Hmm.
Um, so the idea is, yes, this is now. So I would believe this to be support for this leg now, right? So here's this leg of the market, and I believe that to be support. Now, in this case, it it came and it did support it, but it didn't go up and liquidate the top. And that's okay. It just works that way sometimes. You could also change your risk to be like set risk profiles, right? What if you were looking for 2 Rs every time? You would have hit a winner on this, right? I'm not saying to do that either. I'm just saying, um, yes, the idea is for liquidity that gets taken to become support or resistance, but not any liquidity. It has to be specific with trend liquidity. So this is an uptrend. So do you see how that's uptrend liquidity that I made that analysis on? And then same thing here. We're coming down to this area now. It did not take this liquidity that I was looking for, right? It started flipping, and this is new liquidity that I'm hoping that somewhere along the line we get. So if, for example, now when I was talking about the 1 minute chart, if it sweeps this liquidity or something and fills this order and flips, that would be support on this time frame, ideally, if it worked out. But it's really shooting up there, so I don't know about all that. Once it liquidates a high, the rule changes. I mean, the rule doesn't change. I'm just no longer looking for these little bits of liquidity at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I hope that answered your question all the way. But yeah, that's the idea. Don't worry, Pat, about being late. These are recorded. You never have to be on time. Yeah, I guess you get the drawback of not being able to ask us live, but you can always add us in the Discord. And I mean, I don't think we've ever ignored a question, actually. Um,
Yeah. I'll
I
be
mean,
everything that we've talking about in the first part. Like I'm going to be sharing the document that I um, put together, plus the AI audio shortened version, which is just like is it still is unreal to me that I can do that. Just you've heard it before, like just sounds like a podcast
yeah,
of
yeah.
like
It
a
is
five
so,
minute summary of a document that you put together,
it is
and
so.
they make like really weird like sounds as if like oh yeah, interesting analogy that you put there, like they're actually
Hmm.
live people.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I see what you did there.
yeah, yeah. It's great. It's crazy, and it's only gonna get better from here. Is the wild thing.
Yeah.
So the drawbacks to doing that kind of stuff is that we don't retain things in our memory as much. Like the stuff I guess that we build. Like I was reading about writers that write books now through AI, and they can't answer questions about their books sometimes and stuff. And like that's a small drawback. Well, I mean that's a huge drawback depending on what your field is. But I mean the crazy
I
advancement.
mean, I would probably counter that slightly, and it really depends on how you use it to make books and
Yes.
whatnot.
Yeah.
So
We're talking helping with every step of the process, the brainstorming, the building, it's basically an
yeah,
AI collab at that point. But I mean that's really how people are making content right now. I mean there's a lot of and it's getting better, guys.
uh,
I don't know what to say. I'm not
I started writing a book, like a just a general sort of fan, like I'm a big fan of like Lord of the Rings type shit. So I started writing a book last year. Even no, sorry, it would be even 2020 into 2024. And yeah, I would say that it's like 85% me, but I get AI to help me with some structure and things like that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I could tell you exactly what my book is about, but
Yeah,
I
I
do
mean
have AI helping me with it as well. So
definitely. And it's like I said, that the whole tool of it is only going to get so much better. It's wild. I
oh,
mean,
for sure.
I can't wait to see. Well, I mean, I have some nervousness about how this is going to go, but I also, for the, like, this is way off topic from trading, but for all the fear mongering of people that are like, there's going to be an AI takeover, I actually do believe that something like that's technically possible, but not with current. We have so many hurdles to go over. AI is not, it's an
Yeah.
overhyped thing like the dot-com bubble was, whereas now internet companies are the future from then, and they did take over the world, but a lot of the products that they were selling to investors were overhyped to get that investment money and they blew up. AI is
Oh,
the
big
same
time.
as that to me. Like, yes, there is a potential future of serious AGI and all that stuff, but right now it's being overhyped by investors. It's an amazing tool. It's great. I don't think it's going to take over the world yet. I think we're not there yet. So I wouldn't, for the people that are super afraid of it. I mean, I'm nobody. I'm not an AI developer, but
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of the fear mongering when this has already happened for the dot-com bubble with the
Well,
same
I
type
mean,
of.
AI especially, like it's it's called a large language model, and that's
Yeah,
exactly what it is. It's not even AI, you know.
yeah. Even the
Catchy
A.
Tune,
Go
do
ahead, sorry.
you guys use Fibonacci, or is that considered a different strategy that would be an extra in your strategies? We'll have slightly different responses to this one. I definitely use a Fibonacci in my strategy, and it's quite a key component in my strategy. Whereas you use it as kind of a yeah, that's kind
Oh,
of you go mainly on time and price,
yeah, yeah.
and
It's just a
Fibonacci is just there as kind of like yeah, that's nice as well, kind of thing.
Yeah, I use it mostly as a descriptive tool for other people to help, because I like to eyeball the market distance of retracement. It's like, as Bear has called it many times, a measuring stick for retracement, and I treat it as
Yeah.
such. So just like anything else I put in my charts, like these boxes, it's a tool. Luckily, it's a tool that fits great with my strategy. So absolutely, I
Mm.
totally will throw up a fib if I need to look at, like, for example, let's look at this bullish move right here. If we're looking for a pullback to rejoin the trend, look, what's in the golden zone? We have these liquidity areas. This is right underneath it. I'd really like it to get in there and liquidate that, get in this demand. That would look great on this on paper, right? So, I think Fibonacci is a great tool, but no, I don't. It's it's not like a part of my system. It's not a requirement or a part of my checkbox, if
Yeah.
that's what you're asking.
I have kind of premium and discount zones, and I do have like an OTE. So like for instance, like if you get up UJ for us, Jezza,
Yeah, got you.
on let's say 15-minute.
Okay. I'm gonna go and turn this off too for now.
Keep keep accidentally looking at the YouTube, which is like 15 seconds slow. I need to look at
Yeah.
the live one. There we go. Um, all right, so zoom out a little bit. Keep zooming out.
Oh,
We were talking about this earlier. You know how it was. You know, it rushed down. It rushed down hard.
Oh
So
yeah.
basically, I would take it. I would take a Fibonacci from that first leg down, um, and then no, the previous leg. Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got what you're saying.
So yeah, I would have my sort of wait for it to kind of get it. We
To-
are sort of bearish in this move here, 15 minute. I would wait for it to get above the 50%, and ideally, I would be looking for a move to happen in kind of the golden zone, and then once I kind of get into that area, that's when I drop down into my 5 minute and start looking at things via the Asian what's the words that we can use for it?
I've been
The
saying that
Asian
I've been saying the
defining
Asian
whatever it
break.
is.
Yeah, I've been saying just the Asian
Asian
breakout.
break. There we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
Asian breakout, and that's yeah. So basically, if I see like an Asian breakout to the bear side, then I'll be like, yep, okay, let's get it. Let's
Yeah,
see if we can
right.
get into that somehow.
Yeah. Um, so
Until it gets down to again.
a simple
Um, yep.
I was gonna say a simple way to look at it too for people that like before you even add strategy or anything, once it gets past the zone, so I'm about to make a huge box, but it's just important for this point. Once it gets from here to here, right? Once it flips structure, so see how it's going up, boom, boom, and then it flips structure right there for the first time, like full structure, not I'm not talking about these little fractal things, although that also counts, but when the structure actually changes direction in this zone, you are overwhelmingly likely on all markets, all trends, just the way trends work, for it to be a continuation than a reversal at that point, just because
Yep.
that's
Yep.
just how it works. But yeah, I think Fibonacci is a really good tool, especially if you're newer and you want something physical on your chart to give you structured looks at retracement. And you can even add a rule. Even with my strategy, you can be like, I'll only take because I'm looking for deep liquidity sweeps. I would say not the 50, the 618 level or whatever. But you can set rules like that for yourself, and with the Fibonacci, and it will
Yeah.
absolutely work for sure. Yes. So I would say even though it
I
is
would.
extra, it fits.
When it comes to sort of Fibonacci, even like I say, just using the whole premium and discount, if you're going up a couple of like one of the first things that I found really worked when going from because I always had a little bit of an issue with multi-time frame stuff
Hmm.
initially, and just like on higher time frames, if you are, say for instance, in a upward trend and you're on a higher time frame and price has made a bullish move and has retraced past into discount, aka 50%, or vice versa. If you're in a bearish trend and
Something like
price has made
that.
a bearish move and has pulled back into past 50%, then having a strategy where you take only you know whatever it is you sell your
Hmm.
sells in a
Hmm.
premium and your buys in a discount
Yeah.
is gonna seriously
That
help
alone, yeah, that
when
alone will
when
help
starting out.
filter. Yeah, that'll help
So
filter
many
so many
trades
lot.
out.
Yeah, yep, yeah, and it really will help because if
And yeah,
you look,
like for instance, if you look at
good.
uh what was it, Thursday the 5th, just before, in the Asia, obviously you do miss out on that bullish move. Um, Obviously the trade before you could have got a bullish move there, but obviously it did flip as well. So you will miss out on trades, but I think the benefit, and there's the reason why I like doing it is because it just keeps my mind, you know, I don't have that, I can't think of the last time I had that kind of panic whenever I was trading, just because I'm in line with the higher time frame, and I'm like, okay, well,
Plus, if you
more
look,
often than not, I'm going to be right if I'm in line with the higher time frame.
and yeah, so let me mark up some price action real quick with a path, and we'll look at it on like a higher time frame real quick. But if you look, okay, so in spite of all these waves or whatever, the market's going up for a while, then it goes down for a while, up for a while. Hold on, I'm trying to down for a while, right? Up for a while. You can even, I don't know, that's a small one, but still. Actually, that's too small. Let's do it like that. Like that. This one's kind of small, but it don't matter. I just want to show you guys. So it moves in waves, very large distances, right? Relatively. And if you look at that on like a higher time frame,
Yeah.
you're in line with the internal leg of the market. So all the noise in between, you're filtering out that way and joining the trend, basically.
Yeah.
So you'd miss out on all of any, because these are 4 hour candles. So there's lots of bearish movement, but you're avoiding all of that by doing this,
Yeah.
and you get to ride those long distances on the lower time frame. And the market always, look, it always, just like this is how markets move. It always moves in one direction for a while, just always.
Yeah. Especially on the higher time frames, like reversal, like true reversals. This is why, one of the early sayings that you always hear is the trend is your friend, you know?
Hmm
There's a reason why people say that.
I mean, even like we can just look at it on the daily to give everyone a perspective. These are daily candles, so this is like these are years of times, okay, years. Look what the market's doing over the course of days and days and days and days. It just it pulls back a lot. There's lots of pullbacks on the way, but it keeps going one direction for like a year, and then does a complete 180 and goes the other way and liquidates all these people. Markets tend to go down faster than they go up because you don't get liquidated for buys unless you're a short seller. But all the people that have any kind of leverage where they're just owning assets, they get liquidated on sell orders. So
Mm,
it has a faster capitulation rate when you're going on the sell side than on the buy side. Just that's just how money works. It's easier to lose money than to make money with financial leverage and stuff like that, like shorting and stuff. But
yeah.
anyway, on these daily candles, the market moves in these big waves for long periods of time. I mean, I could put up any random, I don't know, let's uh, random what rice futures. I don't know what. Look, the market moves in waves for days, 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 and then we have like,
Yeah.
holy moly. Uh, Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah, COVID stuff. But yeah, see, the market moves in waves. Although this is some messy waves, but I mean, this is some weird little liquid market. But you guys see that these are daily candles. It moves in one
Mhm.
direction for long periods of time. Like any market you
Yeah.
can imagine, even if it gets this. No, that is a nightmare. I would not want to be a day trader during this phase. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, the point I pulled up a random thing just because. I just want to show you guys all markets moving away. Anyway,
Yeah.
any questions or anything like that? Any other last minute?
I didn't see any, but then I accidentally closed down the chat.
Oh, someone said it helps staying with the higher time frame trends. Yeah, like it's for me and the way I trade, it's paramount to trade like whatever your entry time frame is, you have to be anchored to the higher time frame above that, and with that time frame's trend. So the idea for me is I'm getting a quote unquote reversal on the entry time frame, even though it's not really a reversal, to join up with the higher time frame, and that's my anchor because the higher time frame is worth more money. A 5 minute candle is worth 5 times more money than a 1 minute candle is, and that's how I see it. So I like my trades to be anchored to a higher time frame.
Yeah. All right, beauty. Well, we're exactly on time here today. That's a rarity.
Perfect. Well,
Boom.
thank you guys for joining us, and we will catch you guys in the
Yes.
next one.
Yeah. You have a good one.